what's up and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be giving a review for the supernatural horror film Final Destination Bloodlines. Now this is the 6th installment in the Final Destination franchise. Now I must admit I have only seen the original Final Destination film. I saw it in the theaters like back when it was originally released, and I even saw it 2 times like in the theater. Now, I never saw any of the other films. It seemed like I saw the second one, but I know that I did see like the original one in the theaters like back in 2000. But as far as that, I never saw like the other other films in the series. For some reason, I just was watching them, and I thought the original one was awesome. I've always thought that was a pretty good film. Like I said, I saw it 2 times in the theater. But this is like the 6th film in the franchise. Now, this particular film is directed by Zach Lepo-Sky. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry for torturing his name, but the film is about like this young girl who's like a college student, and she keep having these like dreams, and I guess you could say visions of something that happened in the past. Like this whole entire like group of people, where you could say people who are having like this party, like in this big like structure like place. Like it's like this explosion, like with fire and stuff like that. But apparently, oh yeah, I don't want to get into it too much because dang, it would spoil like what happened with that particular scene. But that particular scene does happen at the very beginning of the film, and it happens in 1968. Now I must admit that particular opening scene is like very awesome. I'm not gonna lie, it really is cool and exciting the way they have filmed that particular scene. There's like destruction where there's like big old like tower in place, like it's falling apart, and it's like fire and flame. Even like a lot of the deaths in that particular moment are like very like gruesome. And the place that this take place at is known as Skyview. It was like a big building, like a high-rise restaurant tower, because it kind of reminds you like that salsa thing that they have like in Seattle that turns around. Like it's in Seattle, I think they have those in other places too. But it's a skyrise, well, high-rise restaurant. Because at the beginning of the film, they take an elevator that goes all the way up to it, you know, and you get to see all these people die and stuff like that. Then it kind of jumps into the present. Like I said, I want to touch on that more, but it would kind of ruin like what would really happen with that particular scene. But like the main star of the film, we can say the protagonist of the film is Stephanie Reeves, and she's like a student, a college student, whose grades are even dropping because she's constantly having these nightmares about the Skyview Tower being like falling apart and being destroyed like so many years ago. So she's actually like failing in college because of that, because she can't get into sleep and her grades are dropping. But it turns out there's like a connection with that and her grandmother and other members of her family too as well. Like I say, if I'm going into it too much, it would kind of spoil like what happened with that particular storyline itself, with what was going on with it. But you have like other characters in the story in this film too. Like you have her younger brother known as Charlie, and you also have like one of her cousins known as Eric, and she also has like another cousin known as Bobby, like other family members and so on. Even like her grandmother, who plays like a big part of what's going on. Well, kind of like she's like a major part of what's happening. And you also have Tony Todd, who returns as William Bloodworth too as well. He does return to that particular role, and you get to see kind of like his origin being kind of explained in this film too as well, which I thought was kind of awesome. Like, oh, you get to see, you know, even though I missed all the other films in the series, but like I said, it's like one little thing that I really can't touch on too much because it kind of spoiled it. But in that, the film does highlight the usual, like the way people die, like in these like these like odd, it can get kind of ridiculous and over the top at times, but it's pretty cool though, because this is what the Final Destination like franchise was like supernatural horror. So some of the deaths can be like way like over the top, because like a person can just trip over something and boom, they just get blown up with their head and get cut off and stuff like that. So there are like a lot of like gruesome deaths in this particular film, you know. And like I said, some of the scenes, like some of the deaths were really like shocking and scary because it was like so unexpected and like very bloody too. Like I said, it's like very gruesome. I must admit, I can't recall other films where I've seen like a death like this extreme. There are other films like on this level, but like I say, some of the deaths were just war. You can't believe they really showed all of it, because you don't really see nobody get killed in that manner, and they just went all the way through it. Because there was like one scene I touch on where a girl just got like got crushed like in this garbage truck, like this dumpster, like garbage truck that's picking up dumpsters, you know, throwing it, and she got thrown into it by accident. It was like very odd the way she got thrown into it. And some of them can be almost funny, you know, because they're just like so over the top. Like the death sequences, like the way they are killed is like is just so like over the top. But this one girl, she got like crushed, and the thing was just like crushing her head and just sliced her head off. And they didn't cut it. Like the camera, I'm surprised this is even rated R. Like how gruesome it is, they didn't cut it at all. You just saw her head get cut in half. It was like whoa. They went all the way through with it. They didn't cut it out, so I thought that was kind of cool. But this was also Tony Todd's like last film too, as well. Because remember, he died a little after they had finished like making this particular film. So that was kind of like a sad thing. It's kind of cool seeing him going out like that too. And plus, this film has been like a box office success too. It's like the biggest, where they had the biggest opening in the Final Destiny franchise. And I do plan on watching like part 2 through 5, you know, because like I said, I had never saw them, but I did see the original one in the theaters like back in 2000 with Devin Sawa. I did remember going to see that one that I saw like 2 times in the theater, and I always thought that was an awesome film, but I just never got to like the sequels. I just never bothered like to watch them at the time. But then, like I say, it kind of has like the usual thing about how they have to evade death, and like of course like Stefana Reeves, who's played by Caitlin Santawana, I think that's how you pronounce it. Of course, you know, she kind of knows like the predictable like path, like who's gonna die, who's in the order they're gonna die, and all that. She's the one that kind of knows everything and stuff like that. It even has like a shocking ending too, which kind of reminds me like the I guess you could say I only saw the first one, but like kind of what happened with the first one, you know. But I'm sure this gets carried on throughout all the films in the franchise, and I just haven't seen it, you know. But overall, it's still just for like the scares and like the deaths, and like I said, that opening sequence with the sky view, like the restaurant tower, like in the sky, that's like turning. Oh, that really was an awesome scene. I'm not gonna lie. Like everything was catching on fire, people was falling. And it was like very terrifying and like gruesome. I got that. That has to be one of the most exciting like scenes I have ever seen, like in a horror film like this. Like it just was like done like blockbuster style, just really awesome, no joke. But overall, I kind of feel like it was a C, and I kind of feel like it was a B minus. But I'm gonna go ahead and just give it a B minus because just for like the opening sky view part alone, I thought it was just awesome. And then some like the creative like deaths and stuff throughout the film were very like gruesome and scarifying, even shocking. At times I was scared to look at it because you were scared. You didn't know how they was going to get killed, and it was just like some random accident that they had. They just fall over, boom, and they just get killed or crushed or whatever. Cause I can't really touch on it too much because it's like one little thing in there that I can't really hit because it kind of spoiled it, you know. But overall, I'm gonna give this a B minus, and this is my review for Final Destination Bloodlines. So I would definitely recommend it, you know. Please leave a comment and subscribe too as well.